The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, Monday morning, 8:30 a.m., 60 minutes to go until that opening bell. We got a little bit of a mixed market going on right now. We get the S&Ps positive by about 3 points, trading at 35.07. We were as high as about 35.24 overnight, so pulling back from those highs. NASDAQ futures up about 18 at 12,010. Dow futures just slipping into the negative by about 2 points, 28,609. We've got oil up about 37 cents right now, 43.34. The 10-year yield sitting just under 0.74% right now. Gold contract negative $4 at 1970. Over in Europe, you get the DAX up about 0.2%, FTSE down about 0.6%, CAC Carol up about 0.4%, and Asia, the Nikkei, up about 1.1%, Shanghai down about 0.2%. All right, we'll start things off. We're going to start it off with the chart of the S&P. As I mentioned, we make some highs overnight at about 10 o'clock last evening, 35.24 in the S&Ps. That's quite an acceleration. Things look pretty rosy, but as we progress through the morning, you see what we're doing right now, 35.07, hanging on to some green territory by just a few points. 35.07, up about 0.1%. To see where we are in the other indices, pretty similar action. The NASDAQ climbing to 12,091. We're just above 12,000 right now. As I mentioned, the Dow was negative, slipping back into the positive. We were as high as 28,783. You trade down almost 200 Dow points from where we were at about 9 o'clock last night. Basically flat right now in the Dow. And I got to start it off with the VIX. So we talked about it last week in terms of the fear spiking on Thursday. Quite a spike up to 27.09. Even on Friday, we were sitting at above 26. Strong finish to the market last Friday. I was writing my newsletter this morning, Rocket Equities and Options. That's going to be out in the next about 45 minutes before the market open. And one of the things I was talking about, folks, you should keep your radar on. It's no secret. This VIX not acting as you may expect. We got green across the board right now. Okay, S&Ps are positive. Yes, we're off of the highs. But look at the VIX. What is the VIX doing when we closed last week at under 23? And you're going to open at 24.50, and meanwhile the markets just continue to go up. The VIX does not usually elevate with a climbing market. Now, part of the argument here is that, yeah, the VIX has pulled back, the S&Ps have pulled back about 17 points, okay? But look where you were last night, even at 10 or 11 o'clock last night, right? The S&Ps were at its highs, and even at 10 or 11 o'clock, well, I guess it doesn't start a print, but pay attention. In terms of this is an indicator that you want to keep on your radar. Okay, if we keep seeing the price of insurance for volatility in terms of the price of S&P options to get some insurance for yourself going up as the market continues to rise, there's a lot of fear getting priced into this market. We're coming into election season. We're coming into the end of the summer, folks. Today, August 31st, tomorrow, kicks off September trading, and you got a VIX approaching 24.50. Meanwhile, the S&Ps, you put it on a daily basis, folks. I talked about it last week. We are about to close out the month of August trading with potentially 3 red bars for the entire month. You got to go back all the way to July 28th for another red bar. I mean, pretty dicey. You start off 3 straight days to end July in the green, and since then, today would only be the 4th red bar if we hit it. And meanwhile, you take a look at the VIX, right? What is this volatility here? Pay attention to this, okay? That is a warning sign of this market as we're sitting a little frothy potentially at 35.07, and you get the VIX very, very dicey. Any sign of a sell-off in this market, and you see the VIX spiking even overnight. I was surprised to see, as I'm writing the newsletter, you got the S&Ps. They were up about 7 when I was writing it. And meanwhile, you had the VIX up a solid 5%, up $1.29 from where we closed at last week. So something to keep in mind as we see the day progress. All right, jumping around to what else we have going on. Big day for Apple and Tesla. They both start trading post-split. You got Apple 125.94 right now. Not bad. We're going to add $1 to where it closed out on Friday. Not sure this is a real tick up there at 137.29. But nonetheless, Apple, they are going 4 for 1. They ended last week at about $500, give or take. We're going to open today at 126. Looks like the market is liking that so far. You also got Tesla. They are opening post-split as well. So much for taking Tesla private at 420. They just split 5 for 1, and they're still going to be $446. Remarkable action on Tesla. We were higher overnight. You're still going to open about $4 positive as Tesla's got a new price tag on it to the tune of about $442. All right, jumping around to what else we have going on. Before I get into that story, so here's one thing interesting. History of Apple stock split says investors shouldn't rush in to buy lower price shares. Well, you know what, folks? Keep one thing in mind. History has not always been right with what's going on in this market right now, because this market is defying a lot of what history has to say. Apple, they went 4 for 1. They announced it in late July. We'll talk about quite an acceleration. I mean, Apple, for some context here, to remember where we were when they announced this split, we'll put it on a daily. Yeah, talk about an acceleration, folks. There's the announcement of the split. The quick math was they were trading at about $400. They were going to split. Oh, man, they're going to be priced at right at about $100. Well, in the time it took them to announce that and then finally achieve that split, Apple went up 25% over the last month. So be wary of piling in after that acceleration. But just talking about in general, when they go stock split and what happens after that, you don't have to be a genius to think that maybe it might be priced in. But man, oh man, be careful of this market because it is defying logic on many occasions. All right, one of the stories out there this weekend I was reading, talking about the FDA and willing to potentially, okay, this is just kind of rhetoric at this point, potentially fast track a coronavirus vaccine before phase 3 trials end. The reason why I bring it up is because you're going to start to see some of this being priced in, all right? It's not just a question of, do we get a vaccine? It's not a guarantee, but it seems very, very, very likely at this point. Good news coming out across the board on many of these trials. But the next step is convincing the public that, number one, it's safe and that they should take it. And you're going to see a battle here over the trust of the FDA, saying that he's willing to consider granting emergency authorization for a vaccine before clinical trials have even completed. Now, vaccines, people have problems with vaccines in this country, all right? That's a different conversation. We got to overcome that one, number one, okay? But we're already dealing with the pressure of an election that's going to be looming over, can you trust this vaccine? Okay, because there's a bias in any administration, okay, with what's going on to solve this problem as an election looms 60 days out. Now, you already have pressure on the FDA from the administration talking about, I mean, this just came out in terms of the plasma process being approved. There's a lot of rhetoric there over whether there was enough data to supplant that. But when you talk about a vaccine, folks, and you talk about half of the country having to take it, and then you talk about the potential that, so this is what the FDA chief says in here. Steve Hahn told the publication that an emergency authorization could be appropriate before phase 3 clinical trials are completed if the benefits outweigh the risks. Now, he goes on to say, it's up to the vaccine developer to apply for the authorization or approval, and we make the adjudication of their application. If they do that before the end of the phase 3, we may find appropriate, we may find it inappropriate, we'll make that determination. You're going to see more about this, folks. We'll get into it a little bit more after the break. We'll see what else we have on tap. We still got some earnings this week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. S&P is hanging positive 4. We got the Dow slipping back into positive territory, up about 28 points now. So getting back into that article, because we're going to see this play out, folks, to get over this hump, to open back up the economy, to get rid of this virus, this pandemic, okay, we're going to need a vaccine. It's that simple. Now, we need people to take it. It's that simple as well. So what we get into here is that you have Stephen Hahn. He is the commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration, okay? So you already have that President Trump out there kind of accusing, not kind of, I'm being too impartial, accusing the FDA of dragging their feet to being part of the deep state. Folks, the commissioner of the FDA was installed by President Trump last year. Okay, so he's already facing public scrutiny from the president to accelerate how things are going. This is all a question of trust here as you get into it. So Hahn told the Financial Times that he wouldn't rush any vaccine solely to please Trump. The fact that he even has to comment on this, okay? And his quote is, "We have a convergence of the pandemic with the political season. We're just going to have to get through that and stick to our principles." You like to hear that, of course. This is going to be science, medicine, and data decision. It's not going to be a political decision. All good stuff, okay? So he said emergency authorization could be used safely to make the vaccine available for use by certain groups before clinical trials are completed. Our emergency use authorization is not the same as full approval. The legal, medical, and scientific standard for that is the benefit outweigh the risk in a public health emergency, okay? Then you have Scott Gottlieb, the former FDA chief, saying this yesterday on Face the Nation, that he's uncertain what Hahn even means. "I'm not sure what he means by approving it earlier than when the trials are completed. They're going to wait for these trials to read out before they can make a decision around the efficacy of those vaccines." He said it's likely the data from the phase 3 trials will come out in November. However, he said the trials could come out October, okay? A full approval for the general population, when people to go to CVS, general population, that's really a 2021 event, okay? And then you get in last week, the Financial Times reported that the Trump administration was considering an emergency use authorization before the election for an experimental coronavirus vaccine developed in the UK by Oxford University. At the time, a spokesman for the Department of Health and Human Services, which includes the FDA, said any reports about the emergency authorization for a vaccine prior to the election were, quote unquote, absolutely false. Then you have the commissioner of the FDA coming out and saying that they are considering it. Okay. What this all has to do with, this is the first time that I've actually been skeptical myself of a vaccine being pushed out for political purposes and whether I would trust it. That is a problem, folks, and you might see the market start to weigh that in over the next month or two if it becomes a political football that the trust of a vaccine is in question, which may impact the market. To bring it all back full fruition, okay? You do not want to see a political battle start to ensue with this, but I would say that the messaging from this administration with the Health and Human Services and the FDA and the president condemning the FDA coming back and contradicting what the Health and Human Services said a week before is not the kind of messaging we are going to need to have this many people have to take this vaccine in a timely fashion. Keep that in mind, folks. It's all going to come into play as this thing comes in to a reality that we need basically 150 million, 200 million people when you're talking about 50% to 60% herd immunity to take this vaccine. All right, jumping into the stocks with earnings or just action this morning. We do have earnings. We kick it off with a big one tonight after the bell with Zoom. We'll check out them in a moment. But in terms of the Dow, so today is the day of reckoning in terms of Honeywell, Amgen, and Salesforce. They become members of the Dow, and Pfizer, Exxon, and Raytheon, they're out. We covered that Apple begins their 4-for-1 split. With the reduction in Apple's share price, United Health now has the highest stock price among the 30 Dow stocks. Separately, the legal battle between Apple and Fortnite creator Epic Games escalated as Apple terminated Epic's account in the App Store. Pretty remarkable that United Health is now going to have the biggest impact on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Price-weighted index makes 0 sense, but that's how they do it. Tesla, as we talked about, also opening today at the price of their 5-for-1 stock split. You have AT&T. They're exploring an option to ditch their DirecTV unit. According to people familiar with the matter, Apollo Management said to be among those interested in bidding. AT&T, DirecTV has been a huge drag on them as people are cutting that cord. And there you see the market actually liking that news as it came out that they potentially might sell off the dragging assets of DirecTV, but pretty short-lived as we're down at about where we open on Friday, up about 30 cents to start off trading on AT&T. Gilead Sciences, the FDA expanded the emergency use authorization for their antiviral drug remdesivir, allowing use in all hospitalized patients with COVID-19. Previously, the treatment had been approved only for people with severe form of COVID-19. I mean, that's one of the things that experts do talk about as well in terms of it's not just a vaccine. You might actually see a treatment acceleration before you see a rapid vaccine. All of that good stuff. Hopefully they continue that. BlackRock received approval from China regulators to set up a mutual fund unit in that country, becoming the first global asset manager to receive such approval. I wonder how much access they're going to give China. You don't do business in China, folks, without China being involved. So BlackRock getting into the business of China, and there you see we're up a bit from 601 to 601.05 basically this morning on that news. Beyond Meat gets an upgrade as they go from neutral to sell at Citi, noting its underperformance since early July, and it's better than expected top-line growth, saying the stock now offers a more balanced risk-reward profile. Pull that up. BYND is their symbol. From 131 to about 133, you want to see some volatility, folks. There you go. And even, let's back it up. Is that the full one? Yeah, there's the volatility. Up to 239, down to 48, up to 167, and it looks like back at about 131. Finally, Citi saying, maybe at 131 you got some value here. We're up a bit to 134.24. Beyond Meat, I'm a meat eater myself, folks. I have had some of their stuff, enjoyed it somewhat. The reason I bring it up is because they don't advertise themselves as a complete replacement. They advertise it as something supplemental. You want to cut down a little bit of meat, maybe add something else. I don't know. I don't see, the valuation on this company. Be very careful. When you are going to see competitors left and right, they're going to be able to replicate. I mean, just like Tyson, for instance, right? Lots of companies going to be getting into that business. All right, and as we talk, TikTok deal to U.S. businesses could be announced as soon as tomorrow. Constant headlines having to do with TikTok out there. I even, where are we? Why not? We'll jump over to TikTok. ByteDance says it will abide by tightened China export laws as TikTok sale looms. So on Friday, to complicate things a little bit, China updated its list of technologies subject to export restrictions. One addition to the list was technologies for recommendation of personalized information services based on data analysis, which could be related to TikTok app. So pretty interesting. China locking things down. I'm sure we'll see that news continue to come out. So some of the players there, you had Microsoft. We closed at 228. You're opening at about 226. Walmart can potentially tell me how that works, merging their deal with Microsoft. Walmart up to about 138.26 after spiking a little bit lower overnight. And Oracle even in the mix at 57.15, potentially as they are bidding on TikTok as well. All right, folks, stay tuned. We're going to be coming back. We'll see what else we have on tap for earnings this week. We'll get the VIX 24.55, an elevated VIX up almost 7%, as you have the S&Ps up by 4, NASDAQ up by 22, Dow up by 28, and the Russell positive by 4. Everything in the green, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Back in the day, I joined the Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Market's hanging on to positive prices so far. We got gold flat at $19.75, silver up 41 cents at $28.20. Notes and bonds, a little bit of lower price, higher yield. The 10-year negative by 3 ticks, the 30-year negative by 7 ticks. I got a chart here of Zoom video conferencing. Talk about quite a year for Zoom. Zooming in on just 2020. You kick things off at about $65. We're currently trading with a bid ask of about $303. Zoom's got their earnings after the bell, and they got a lot of expectations to live up to, folks. And to get into what they're going to be looking at, they're looking for a $33 move priced into the market right now for their earnings. If you're talking about just buying an option that lasts through Friday, you're paying $20 almost for an at-the-money put or call. You're pricing in a $38 move this week. I mean, keep things in mind, folks. If you're buying a put or a call at the money, you need $20 of movement just to make your money back in Zoom by Friday. There's some volatility priced into that in a big way. Other stocks that we have this week, some of the best performers really during the pandemic. CrowdStrike, right? Talking about internet security. The year they've had going from $50 to start things off. You were at 31 at the market lows. We're sitting at about 118 this morning. We have a bid ask around 120. They are out with their numbers on Wednesday after the bell, and DocuSign as well, one of the other big winners. DOCU is their symbol. There's your banner year for them. From starting the year under $80, we're trading at $215. Again, a bid ask of $219 right now for DocuSign with their earnings after the bell on Thursday. And we also get another big one, Broadcom, AVGO. They'll be out with their numbers on Thursday after the bell from $320 down to $159. And again, trading higher ahead of their numbers, Broadcom at about $347. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got our man Larry Pesavento. He's coming up live next at 9 o'clock. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Fast Market by TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim at 11. Basil Chapman, Steve Rhodes, Dave White, Tom O'Brien, all this afternoon. Final trading day of August. And, man, quite an August it's been. One of the best trading months in August in 30, 35 years almost. Stay tuned, folks. Larry Pesavento, he's coming up live next. We'll be right back.